1976, it ended up in Jerome, Arizona. It's still a piece of mahogany, walnut, and oak. It took 8 men to lift it in there, comes apart in 3 sections. Twice this month I've had somebody say, why don't you get a liquor license and sell beer and wine here? No, go to Old Tucson, go to Tombstone. I don't need that. Somebody pulled it in one day and said, how did you ever find a place in such good shape? I said, it comes from Mexico. I said, Manuel labor, you build it yourself. Yeah. This is the Crossbar Hotel. The movie company likes to hear. Slammer. The safe over there came out of Safford, Arizona. The last patent date's 1879. It's solid steel, no concrete. It weighs over 4,000 pounds. It took the wife and I and our daughter 2.5 hours to from that doorway to here with 3 crowbars. 3 weeks later, a movie came in and said, can we set this in the corner and put the books here? I said, go ahead, fellas. Yeah. 6 of them got around it and they went, never mind, we'll leave it here. Those aren't real guns, those are movie props. The typewriter is 1924. I just saw something on TV years, but it's okay for in here. I do play in the background sometimes in the movies. One of the songs I play is called Marching Through Georgia. You might recognize it. People that recognize him, some of them are gone. This man died last year, 89 years old. His name was Dale Robinson. He used to be on Tales of Wells Fargo back in the 60s. Dad and I did security for the old Tucson in 1964. People ask me, how old were you when you first got interested in movies with your father? That's 4 years old. This is my dad. That picture right there was called Winchester 73 with Jimmy Stewart, 1951. She was here 27 years ago. Her name is Alyssa Milano. She was on a show called Who's the Boss and one called Charm. Nice gal. Myself and Johnny Cash.
I love that.
He was a good singer. I met him up at Mescal on the movie I worked on called Stagecoach. He was a nice guy. This guy, William Shockley, with the pretty blue eyes, without the beard and the long hair, he stars on a show called Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman. He's a guy named Hank that owns a saloon. He was here for the Gun Down movie. Myself and Richard Farnsworth. He's the nicest movie star I ever met. He's gone. But the last movie he did was called A Straight Story. Drives a lawn tractor across Wisconsin looking for 9 years, everybody coming in here like you guys, Chinese laundry. Well, one night last year, we had a party here. My buddy down the road before dark. My buddy down the road got a Korean wife, about this tall, cute as a bug. Standing here, I said, Chinese laundry. She turned around and said, oh, no. And I went, oh, God, what do we do? She walked up and said, chicken feed, herbs, spices, fresh fruits, vegetables. That could have been bad. Her seats, got a clock in the mirror, it's got a flower vase in the back to make them smell good. The first thing the teenagers say, how fast will it go? When are you going to put a small block Chevy in it? Not this one. It needs a battery, but I got sticker shock. $138 for a battery, 4 years ago, $60. I do run this once in a while, we have to. I had to boil the gas tank, I had to take the carburetor off because that wonderful ethanol gas we got did a number on it, wouldn't even run. But I got stuff I put in there. Al Capone type hat, a Frank Nitti type hat. The bourbon whiskey's 1917. That would take the paint right off your car. Okay? For 35 years, I've been collecting hubcaps and memorabilia from National Geographic magazines. I got some rare cars here. A Jordan, a Chandler, a Packard, a Rio, an Overland. I'm missing 2. A Will St. Clair, and I need one for a Kissel car made in Wisconsin. Car stuff, that's cool. My brother-in-law brought me these wrenches from South Dakota, somebody donated. They're all car wrenches. A guy gave me this grill. It's a 37 LaSalle, which was a Cadillac. 24 Packard, 29 Dodge Radiator. The headlights above us are 29 Packards. 4 with that group of men. I knew 2 of those guys before they died. It's a 1927 45 caliber Thompson submachine gun, but it's a semi-automatic. If it was a full automatic, you got to have a license and they're expensive. The one below it's called a 351 self-rolling Winchester, made in 1905. John Dillinger had one. This is what the police carry. That's an 1896 Marlin 12-gauge rifle. Okay? Now look at this. The women love this one. This is the general store. 1897, Madison, Wisconsin. It spins. This is a spool holder. Turn of the century. When it got here a couple of years ago, it still has the thread. The lady that donated this lives in Sonoyta, Arizona. She's very rich. She's very tall and very pretty. She just lost her husband here a couple of weeks ago. His name was Michael Blake. He's the one who wrote Dances with Wolves.
Okay.
Okay? Now, some of the stuff is old, some of it isn't. Morton Salt, China 250, Irish oak block on the tires. I called on the tires, they want $650 for 2 tires and 2 tubes. The gas pump is 1923. It came out of McNeil, Arizona. Somebody asked me last week, why don't you restore that? If I restore that, somebody's going to say, did you get that at Walmart? Leave it like this. Put the American pickers, let it come through here.
Yeah.
That's what I was just going.
The sign says I'm old and cranky. They got a gas tank under the seat, bad design. If you drove up a long hill, you ran out of gas, you had to back up the hill. That came out of the town of Arabella. Now we're building the Baxterville 4 years ago for a movie called Maddie, but they changed the name. It's called The Renegade. You can go to that online too. Not a bad movie. They made it where you can take the cross, pull it off the top, slide it down over the back, and you got a schoolhouse. The straps, the cups, the brushes, the razors. He rebuilt this whole thing. Not the red or the black, that's new. But the mirror and the gray wood actually came from an original barber shop in 1906 in Benson. I got pictures of it. This chair came out of Bisbee. I bought 25 years ago. I paid $25. Now they're $750. But if you get one, make sure it's got this. If this is missing, don't buy it. It's like buying your car with no motor. This light bulb here, 1902 original Edison.
Wow.
This one here, Lowe's, $7 from China, but if they steal this one, I'm only out $7. Those are $150. The guy that gave me the 57 Chevy truck gave me all the engines. I said, what about your kids? He said, they'll sell them for scrap when I'm going. I want to see them here. The bellows came out of Fort Huachuca 155 years ago. Still working.
Wow.
This hood I found 4 years ago up in Tombstone on Allen Street, a mile and a half down to this place called Apache Spirit Ranch. Now they got another name. It's a dude ranch. But when I was there, it wasn't that way. The guy that owned the place said, get in there, get everything you want because it's going to the dump. It's hand riveted from the 1880s right there. Oh. Okay. This comes off the Tombstone movie. I ate my Wheaties this morning. Made out of wood. It's real though. Made out of wood. It's a 1930 Packard block. That's from the 1960s. I've been playing about a year and a half. I got a lot more to go, but I'll show you what I got.